going on YouTube? It's great to be back, and today I'm going to be talking about dyeing locks. So my hair has been locked for about 7 months now, and I'm not gonna lie, I really feel the urge to do something different. I definitely want to look into lock jewelry, but I've really been wanting to dye my hair. Now my number one thing that I really wanted to hold true to my hair is to keep it healthy. That's the number one thing that I'm looking into, and I'm taking care of my hair so it can last a long time, be healthy and thick and strong. And dyeing your hair can be risky business, let's just say. So I haven't dyed my hair yet because I've been doing a lot of research, which means I've been using Google and YouTube for like hours, just figuring out how to do it, how it works well, how it doesn't, seeing other people doing it, because I really want to be healthy first and foremost. And my hair is pretty dark, so I mean, in the video you can see the individual locks, but I feel like if I just lighten my hair just a touch, you can see them more and it would be different. And I don't know, changing your hair up a little bit is nice. It's a little bit of a confidence boost. It's something different, it's refreshing. And I've been really been wanting to dye my hair, but I'm still very hesitant to do it because of the risks. And there's also a couple different ways to dye your hair. You can do it professionally, you can do it at home, or there's natural ways to do it. Starting out with professional. So that's probably the safest way to do it. I'll just say safest because they're professionals, they know what they're doing. It's in a more controlled environment, so it's less mess, but it can be more expensive. And it could also be just as damaging technically. Because our hair is naturally darker, it's gonna take a lot more oomph to get it lighter. So a lot of times you'll bleach your hair or you'll dye your hair more than once to get the correct color that you want it to be. And a lot of times it could be a lighter brown or red, or if you really want a blonde, it takes a lot more power to get that hair the color that you want it to be. And with darker browns and reds, it's not as damaging as if you were to bleach your hair, where it actually can change the curl pattern of your hair. It can straighten it out, almost like a perm or a texturizer. And it can also act as somewhat of a protein where it makes your hair super strong, but it can be to the point where it makes it brittle and super dry, and a lot of times your hair never goes back to being the same. And that's the scary part of dyeing your hair. For the first month or two, you're loving it, it's something different, but then you'll realize down the road your hair is never the same and it's damaged, and it can be a little bit scary, but I know life is about embracing the moment, and you can't be afraid to change things up. It could be a really good thing, but that's something to consider when you dye your hair. Even if you go to a professional, your hair texture might be different, and you might notice down the road maybe it's a little bit more damaged, maybe not completely, like there's no saving it, but you'll notice a little bit of a difference. And there's also at-home remedies where you can get it from a box or henna, which I've been really looking into the most. Now with the other formulas, like just the box, there's a lot of chemicals in it, and it's not as natural as henna. So that's also something to consider. It could be fine, a lot of people do it at home and it works out just fine, but if you're a rookie, you're dealing with chemicals, and you maybe put too much or you don't wash it all the way out, it's a risk. And also about the cleanliness of it, you have to use specific bowls, specific spoons to make your hair not turn green. It can definitely stain. Make sure you're mixing it properly, that you're getting it all in your hair, or making sure you're starting at the ends and not in the roots, making sure it's even, and definitely making sure you wash it all out when you need to. Because having locks, which is different than natural hair, it can actually get inside of your lock, and it will be extremely hard to get out if you still have chunks or you have a lot of color just like stuck in your hair. So you really gotta be careful with that. And with henna, it's a little bit more safe because it's more natural, but it depends on where you get it. Some say they're natural, but they're not. But there are sites and places you can go where you can read the ingredients and get it sent to you, or you can go to a store where they sell henna. Just be sure to mix it up properly. Make sure it's like more of a liquid than a solid, because you don't want to have chunks of it just kind of like stuck in your hair. And I also heard some good and bad about henna. I've seen success stories and I've seen some not so successful stories. It definitely acts as a protein, so if your hair needs more strength, it could actually be beneficial. But if your hair is already normal, it could really dry it out and it can become brittle, especially if you do it more than once. And a lot of people do henna more than once because I've learned that compared to maybe like the chemical treatments or the professional treatments, you don't see as much color. Because it's more natural, it doesn't like show up as much, so people will do it more than once. So slowly but surely you'll see more and more color because it's going over top of the old color. But the more you do it, again, you gotta be careful so you don't dry out your hair or damage it, change the texture, make it weaker. So you just gotta really consider that. And a lot of times I notice that you'll see like a slight change in color. Maybe it's a little bit redder or a little bit more blonde or a little bit more like a lighter brown, but I notice it's not too drastic. So to go through all that and for it to not really change, I don't know. Again, it's something to consider. And then you have the natural route. You have lemon juice and peroxide, or coffee, or cinnamon, and I've seen some other ways to go about it, especially the lemon juice. But what I also notice is that I see a lot more like white people doing that and they see a slight difference over time, but because our hair is so dark, you might see a little bit of a change. And I haven't seen too many results with people who have locks or people who have dark hair or people like us who I've seen with good results or any results at all. I was trying to look for people who had results for it, but I didn't see too many honestly, so I'm guessing there isn't too much of a difference. And some people have said that it turned their locks like an orange color, which, you know. But there's also good old sunlight, and now that I'm in Florida, it's definitely easy to get some time in the sun and let your locks just, you know, soak up the sun. And when you get a lot of sunlight, you can get a little bit more brown and red, which I have noticed. And I think that's actually a legit way to, you know, get your hair a little bit lighter all around. And just like a plant, your locks should get some sunlight, get some vitamin D and some water, and your hair will flourish off of that. But you might not notice if any difference at all. Well, I haven't seen too many results on it, but if you have, please let me know in the comments below. So those are basically all the reasons why I've been a little bit hesitant to dye my locks, but I have to say I'm still wanting to dye them because, I mean, it's been 7 months and I've been pretty, you know, diligent and keeping it low maintenance, and they're pretty healthy, and life's too short, and locks are about expressing yourself, and I feel like I shouldn't be afraid to dye my locks. I never do. I mean, I should experiment, and I'm still looking into it. Even though my #1 thing is to keep it healthy, I'm still very curious and got that urge. So if you have any advice, or if you've dyed your hair and you've had certain results, please let me know. I've been researching, been on Google and YouTube, watching a lot of videos, but honestly, I feel like there's no better person to ask than you guys. Especially if you've done it before, please let me know and tell me what you did, the outcome, any advice at all. I would love to hear it, and hopefully maybe next month or before my 1 year, I might lighten my hair a little bit. And I definitely didn't want anything too drastic. I don't want to bleach my hair. Definitely kind of looking more into henna. And I kind of wanted just something like a lighter brown, just like a shade lighter. I didn't really want to have like the bleach tip look, but just like a nice brown or like the next shade up, something like that, just to do something different. Alright YouTube, I've talked enough, so let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching as always. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what happened when you dyed your locks, or if you have any advice, let me know. Alright, see you guys later.